I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the reigning champion of the world, Peter Wright. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Well, a little bit disappointed after the Grand Prix, but, just get on the next one, and obviously that's a Premier League coming up. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, we last spoke at the Premier League Media Day in Aberdeen way back in February. What a strange 8 months it's been since, from the euphoria of that welcome that you had from that Aberdeen crowd that night to the break. No crowds. How have you found it all?
Personally, I found it's quite difficult because, I like the crowds there. It makes me play better, with the adrenaline. You get butterflies when you go up, waiting to go on stage and for your walk on and having the roar and everything. It's and I don't get that with these behind closed doors TV events, which is shame. At the moment we've got to deal with that and just get used to it until we can have the crowds back in.
Going back to that time, a couple of days after the UK Open, you of course turned 50. Did you manage to get in any celebrations before the lockdown and everything shut down?
Yeah, we did. I had a few friends around. Never had 5 friends, 6 friends around. That was it. And we had a good time.
Excellent. Well, for pretty much all the players, when the lockdown came, it meant practicing at home on their own. But yourself, you had a lodger in Dimitri van der Berg. How did that come about, him staying with you and not going back home?
Well, it's only down to the person who had already offered to put him up. That fell through. And we was at a Players' Championships at the weekend, and we said we give him the option. You're quite welcome to come and stay with us, and just see how it goes. See how long you be here or not. If it's a month or a week or whatever. It's fine with us. It ended up being 3 months, about 2 days off 3 months, I think it was.
So the world champion and the world youth champion living together, did that change how much you practiced? Obviously back then you didn't know when the tour was going to return, but did you and Dimitri make the most of getting to practice together?
Not really. We sort of practiced. But with me, I like to do my own thing and have to give myself own confidence on the board and stuff like that. But when we did practice together. I just brought him back down. Just doing simple stuff, like simple stuff I do, instead of just going up playing really hard games and stupid games that you get annoyed with because you're not hitting the stuff. And just brought him back to basics, just hitting simple stuff and just making him think that way. And I think it helped him a little bit. So. And then, a couple of times we would have legs against each other, first one to 6 and stuff like that, just to see where each other's game was. And, it turned all right for him, didn't it?
That's right, yeah, the World Match Play picked that title up. That was, of course, the first TV event back, obviously behind closed doors and away from Blackpool. I've got to ask about your first round game that you had with Jose, 8-6 down, you take off the glasses, you win 10-8. Is that where I've been going wrong, playing with glasses?
Well, it worked on the floor tournaments. I tried and won the Players' Championships on the floor and finished top at the Summer Series. And so, the worked on the floor, but I couldn't get used to the glare and everything that was coming off the glasses. That just annoyed me. But now I wear contacts, and as long as I don't put them in too early, they don't dry up on stage too much. So that's the main thing. But it's a lot better.
Good to hear. Well, the Premier League resumed with a run of nights behind closed doors as well. We've got to mention your 9-darter against Al Gurney. You're first on TV. You've come close on a few occasions before. How good did it feel to tick that one off the list?
Yeah, that was that's just another thing, as you say, on the list of stuff to do. And let's try and I've still got a chance to hit another one to scoop the bonus for hitting 2 in the Premier League. So. Yeah, so hopefully I'll hit one in the semis or I'll just leave it for the final.
Fingers crossed. Well, during that run of games, we had that 2 or 3 day break and you went into the final 4 games, 6th place. You'd lost your last 3 despite some big averages. How were you feeling about your chances of making the top 4 at that point?
I was playing all right, and it was just like my game was just like it wasn't consistent enough. So I had to try and brush up and be more consistent. And you know, and that was the main thing. It was like, because I'd have a burst of brilliant legs and then be rubbish for two, you know, and that was no good. I missed some silly doubles as well because I rushed them. But, you know, to finish second and 1 point off of Glenn and one leg, if I got the win against Glenn instead of the draw, you know, I could have been top. But didn't do it.
That's right, yeah, you went a perfect 4-0, those 4 wins from the last 4 games to finish second, qualify for the playoffs this week. Many are saying it was the closest race to get in the top 4 in the history of the Premier League. You've been in it for 6 or 7 years now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. It was really, I think it was really good playing it day after day as well. You know, you saw players start absolutely brilliant and then fade away a little bit and then come back a bit at the end, and then you saw some players starting bad and then playing cool at the end. You know, that was like, it was all ups and downs, and people could see that no one carried the full form on all the way through. You know, Glenn started off fantastic and then, you know, he dipped off at the end, and then Gary started off brilliant and then he dipped off and he got some strange results, you know.
Since then, we've had the Autumn Series. You won a title there, the World Series Finals, Euro Tour, the World Grand Prix has just finished as well. It's a busy schedule, and it looks like it's going to be even busier now for the rest of the year. How excited are you about what's to come for the next few months?
For the next few months, tomorrow, this after the Premier League, I'm only going to play in the European Finals. I've already qualified, so it doesn't matter really where I finish. It's just, so I'm having the weekend off for the European, and the following European I'm having off as well, because it's quite hard to get a flight back from there to Birmingham and to be ready and tested, ready to start. No, that's for the World Cup, sorry. So we struggled to get a flight back from Greece, that was it. You'd have to fly into Heathrow, and then it's 3 hours to go home. It's just a pain in the backside, so we've decided just to keep myself fresh, ready for the finals of that, and then I'm nice and fresh for November for, let's say, 5 days of the Players' Championships, then the Grand Slam, and then the Players' Championships, all one after another, all in commentary. Then, you know, I should be nice and fit for that.
Fair enough. Well, in terms of prize money, the Premier League, second only to the World Championship, you've got that title on your mantelpiece. What would it mean to add the Premier League to it and be the holder of the 2 most lucrative titles in darts at the same time?
Obviously, I think I'm going to do it. So, yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to picking up the trophy.
Well, it's 3 years since your last Premier League playoff. You probably don't need reminding about that final with Van Gogh, but I know it's different circumstances this week, not at the O2, no crowd. Does it feel still like there's unfinished business, though, from 2017?
Exactly, you know, there was obviously I got to the final, the only time I've been to the final of the Worlds was 2014, and I had my chances in a few of them sets to make it a lot closer against Michael, even though I wasn't ready then. And so I learned from all these defeats and these finals and everything I've played in. I've learned all over the years, and that's why I went and won the Worlds, and I've learned all that. So, you know, when I get to the finals and play the Premier League, then, you know, I think I can cross that line.
And lastly, before we let you go, you mentioned there you're taking the next couple of weekends off. We've got the World Cup coming up in next month, and of course last year it was great for you winning it for the first time with Gary, but it sounds like he's not keen on the travelling outside of the UK. So are you expecting to be with maybe John Henderson as your partner this year?
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be playing either. You know,
okay.
I can understand, you know, Gary saying why, you know, he doesn't want to travel out, you know, getting on planes and stuff like that, and I've had a lot to think about it. That's why another reason I've pulled out of these 2 Europeans coming up is because of all the flying. It's not people not doing their jobs properly, anything like that. It's just a few idiots that are breaking the rules, you know, so you could pick it up, you know, poor Adrian Lewis and Stephen Bunting, you know, missing out. You know, I think they probably caught that from when we was in Germany. You know, travelling maybe in the minibus from the airport, stuff like that, or at an airport, you know. somewhere down that line. So unfortunately, but I've won it. I've won the World Cup with Gary. We've lost in the final a couple of times there, but that's another thing ticked off. So I won't be playing in another World Cup. I've achieved my dream of winning it for Scotland, and so unfortunately I won't be playing again.
Completely understandable. Is that a decision then you've made quite recently, seeing Adrian and Stephen test positive and seeing how easily I suppose it is to maybe catch this virus, or is that something that you'd decided a little while before?
No, I've been thinking about it since I come back, and just past couple of weeks I've been asking guys, we're going to go and bend it and stuff like this, but I can see, we've won it, I've won it, and it's a dream come true to win it, and but there's you got to think of your health and safety and your family and stuff like that, and it's the way it is at the moment, and vaccines and stuff. So maybe when all the vaccines come in, if the World Championships are in abroad, then obviously we'll be driving. That's what we're going to do. We're going to drive to the European finals. So, and that's just fingers crossed. Things change really quickly, and we can get some stuff out to help everybody.
Definitely. Well, Peter, it's always nice to catch up with you. I do appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll have a Premier League title to add to that list of titles for the first time later this week.